It is Wednesday, May 15th, and the Splash Zone is back in your life. I'm Matt Modai, and I'm going to have two NBA player props for tomorrow's NBA betting slate. So, two plays for tomorrow, Thursday, May 16th. Only one game on tap for tomorrow, Nuggets versus Timberwolves, but I'm going to have two plays in that game, one on each team. I'm recording this before the games on Wednesday have finished, but I wanted to get this out early for you guys. Of course, before I can give you those picks, we got to do a recap from last time you saw me, which is going to be a recap from Tuesday, which was not one of our best days. 1-2 on Tuesday. Down one unit isn't terrible. It's certainly not fun either. We were able to cash out Karl Anthony Towns over 18.5 points. Felt pretty good about that play. Unfortunately, we lost Dante DiVincenzo over 23.5 points. Just a bad read there. He didn't even come close. That play was basically dead from the jump. He had a horrible shooting game in game 5 for the Knicks. And then we also lost Michael Porter Jr. over 4.5 first quarter points. Got up 4 shots. He was able to make a three-pointer, but he was only 1 of 4 from the field, so that was another L. 1-2 yesterday, down 1 unit. That now brings our total profit on the entire NBA season, regular season plus playoffs. We're up a little bit below 112 units on the season. And then for the playoffs specifically, we're up about 3.5, essentially 3.5 units of profit in the playoffs. So definitely have not been able to replicate the regular season success in the playoffs, but I'm still happy about the fact that we are in the green. And every time it feels like we're about to go on a run, we have a day like we had yesterday, and we have a day like we had Monday. We've now been down 2 days in a row. Prior to that, we were up 3 days in a row. So that's just kind of how it's been these playoffs. As soon as I'll have a really good streak going, the bottom falls out, and then we kind of go back down the other way. We take a step back. So hopefully Wednesday's picks go really well. By the time you're watching this, you might already know how Wednesday went. Hopefully they went amazing. And then hopefully these two plays for tomorrow go really well as well, so we can get ourselves a nice couple day streak in a row and really catapult ourselves into having better success than we've had so far. If you are new to my channel, I would appreciate it if you could click that subscribe button, and then of course like, comment, all that stuff does help me out a ton. And then the last thing I'll say before I get into the bangers is that I do have a dub club where I send plays out for $5 a month. Gets everything that I play sent directly to your phone via text, email, or Telegram. It's the same plays that you see me give out for free on YouTube and Twitter. I just send them out early. So whether you don't care about the YouTube videos, or sometimes by the time you watch them, the odds change, right? Like by the time I record, post, edit, all that stuff, unfortunately, the odds are different than what I was able to lock them in at. So that's kind of why I have the Dub Club. As soon as I decide what a play is, the very first thing I do is send it out. So you're able to get plays in before the odds change. If you're interested, again, $5 a month. If not, totally cool if you'd rather get everything for free on YouTube and on Twitter. I just wanted to give people the option, but that's enough of that. It's time to get into tomorrow's bangers, and we're in desperate need of splashing around and getting wet. Both of these plays, again, are going to be Nuggets versus Timberwolves. Both are going to be on FanDuel, starting with Anthony Edwards over 28.5 points, -113 odds at FanDuel. To be honest with you, this was a pretty simple play for me. It's an elimination game for Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves. And we're coming off of a game where Anthony Edwards was pretty quiet, right? Like, I just have a hard time seeing that happen again for Anthony Edwards. Last game, game 5, he only scored 18 points. He only attempted 15 shots. And in the shots he took, he didn't shoot very well. He was 5 of 15 from the field. So moving forward, next game, game 6 at home in Minnesota, elimination game for the T-Wolves, who have now lost 3 straight. I'm not necessarily saying that Anthony Edwards is going to have a super efficient game. I just have a hard time seeing him have another game with such a low number of attempts, right? And we kind of saw this almost same exact thing happen in game 3, right? After game 3, he only scored 19 points in that game. He only took 15 shots. He came out after the game and said that that was unacceptable. He needs to be more aggressive, and that he will be more aggressive. And what we saw in game 4 was him backing up those words. Absolutely incredible game 4, 44 points, 26 shots, 16 of 26 from the field, 5 of 8 from deep. Just an incredible game from Anthony Edwards in game 4. And after that incredible performance, it was only natural for his efficiency to come down a little bit, right? Like going 5 of 8 from deep, 16 of 26 from the field. It's hard to replicate that game over game, especially against a really good Denver Nuggets defense. So now he had his quiet game out of the way. Now it's time for things to swing back the other way and for him to have a very good game. And we have, a 10-game sample size here of Anthony Edwards playing the Nuggets in the playoffs. And he has consistently played them really, really well, right? In those 10 games, Anthony Edwards has gone over 28.5 points in 6 of those 10 games. Obviously, that dates back to the 5-game series last year and then all 5 this year. While yes, he's only done it in 2 of 5 games in this specific series, both games he went over, he scored 40 plus points. So he has shown the ability to have like crazy performances against the Nuggets. And in one of the games he went under, he still scored 27 points. But if you remember, that was game 2. That game was a complete and utter blowout almost from the jump. Not very high leverage minutes. He only played 37 minutes. And I know that 37 minutes is generally a lot, but for context, the last 2 games, he's played 45 and 44 minutes. So as long as this game is even somewhat close, Anthony Edwards should play another 45 plus minutes. He should put up another 20, 22, even 25 attempts, right? Like I would be shocked if he had another quiet game and didn't put up a bunch of attempts. And if he does that, confident he's going to get us to the 29 points that we need to cash this over. He also has great ladder potential. Like if you wanted to take him 35 plus, 40 plus, 45 plus, I wouldn't hate that at all. As of right now, I'm just rocking with the mainline play. If I decide to ladder something, I'll send it out, but I've kind of taken a step back from laddering these playoffs. I first just want to have success on the main plays. But that's our first one. Next up, obviously same game here. I'm going back to Michael Porter Jr. over 3.5 first quarter points, minus 102 odds at FanDuel. So I know that Michael Porter Jr., he didn't cash this for us last game, but that was at 4.5. Now it got bumped down to 3.5 for roughly even money. It's kind of crazy the reaction the sportsbooks had, both to Anthony Edwards and to this play as well. Now I get that like the 3.5 to 4.5 number, if he makes 1 3-pointer, wouldn't cash either of those plays. And Michael Porter Jr., the way he scores is generally from 3. So I understand why that's not a super key number that we're getting below. But still, if he makes 2 layups from passes from Jokic, he cashes the 3.5, which he wouldn't have cashed the 4.5. And again, I know that like he wouldn't have even cashed the 3.5 last game. He still did take 4 attempts. He just couldn't he only was 1 of 4, right? He just couldn't get them to go. He made 1 3-pointer. The other 3 he missed. Now 2 of the shots that he took got blocked. That's just kind of unlucky. That also just happens with the good defense. But I am comfortable going back to him in this game, right? And I also will admit, Michael Porter Jr. hasn't quite been the first quarter wagon in the playoffs that he was in the regular season. But it's not like he's been terrible either, right? Like we've taken him 3 times now in this series. He missed it last game. He cashed it the first 2 times we took him. So I'm comfortable going back to Michael Porter Jr. after now missing it in 2 straight games. Feels like the perfect fade of recent results, betting him to have a good first quarter. Last game was tough. He took 4 shots, and again, 2 of them got blocked. He did play about 10 minutes, and that 10-minute number, that's about what you can expect moving forward, right? If you look at the entire playoffs, he's averaging just over 10 minutes in the first quarter. But it does seem like Michael Malone changed his rotations a little bit to take Michael Porter Jr. out at the 2-minute mark with 2 minutes left in the first quarter, giving him about 10 minutes of playing time, right? Like in the first 3 games, 12, 11, 12 minutes. That would be amazing. But again, Michael Malone changed out his rotations a little bit, so now he's going to get about 10 minutes. But even then, if he gets 10 minutes, I would be pretty confident that he would cash this for us. Overall, he's played 5 playoff games in which he's played 10 or more minutes. He's cashed it in 3 of 5 of those games. And as I mentioned a million times on my YouTube channel, Michael Porter Jr. has always been a fast starter, even in the playoffs in the first quarter, right? Like if you look at games just this entire season, he's cashed over 3.5 first quarter points in like 65% of the games. 69% of the regular season games, that's a very nice number. And 65% if you include the playoffs. So after burning us last game, I feel good about going back to him, rounding out our 2 picks for the video. And that's all we got. 2 bangers for you guys to lock in. Let's hope we can have a 2-0 day to get us back in the green, back on our winning ways. Even though we're still up for the playoffs, would love to have a nice sustained stretch of success. Again, remember to like the video, comment, subscribe. Check out my Dub Club if you're interested. I appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.